So actually, I was 17 years old when the age change happened, and I was a senior in high school. And the weekend of conference, I actually had a Shakespeare competition for my theater group that I was in. So we were down in Cedar City, and I hadn't been watching conference that day because I had competition stuff. But I remember as I was sitting there about to go on stage to compete for a scene that I was in, that my theater teacher, who's a member, leaned over and told me and some of my friends that they had just changed the age. And I remember thinking, like, good for everyone else. Like, I'm not going. And so I was like, that's super cool. And I was mostly, I didn't think about it by myself, but I mostly just thought about, all of my friends that were seniors with me that at the end of graduation, they would be gone. Less than a year, they would have their call. And that's something that they hadn't planned for their whole lives. And so everything was changing. And pretty soon seminary was different. They were gearing more towards, preparing you for a mission, and it was really exciting. But I was still just in this mindset that wasn't what was meant for me. But then as I was preparing to, make plans for college, it just seemed like nothing felt right. And so I was talking with my mom, and she pointed out the fact that I hadn't ever said anything about a mission. And I'd realized that I had just been so concerned with everyone else that I didn't take that chance, to pray and to see if that was in Heavenly Father's plan for me. So I prayed, and I didn't receive an answer right away. It took some time, but as I prayed about it, I had, different answers to, read certain scriptures or different things that I heard stuck out to me. But one thing that really left a lasting impact on me was when I read my practical blessing, because it talks about a mission. And I remember when I had received my blessing, when he discussed the mission, he said, I cannot tell if it's when you were younger or when you were older, but I can see in your future there's a mission. And I remember thinking, please be when I'm older, please be when I'm older. Because I don't know, I just felt like at 21 I had other things I needed to be doing. And so I remember laughing to myself as I read that, and then I kept reading, and it talked about how people in that very moment, like the moment that I got my blessing, that they were praying for somebody to come tell them the truth, to bring it to them. And it said that they were praying for me to come to them, and that when they would see me, they would know by my very countenance that I'm the one to bring them back. And pretty soon a mission didn't feel like 18 months away from my family in some foreign land, but it felt more like truly a mission, like Christ's mission to go and to save souls and to share my testimony with them. And so in that moment, that's when I decided that that's what I need to do. And ever since then, even now, as I pray for missionary opportunities, that's what I try to do is to pray for them, because those people are real. They aren't just names on a page or someone that you'll meet, but it is in Heavenly Father's plan, for you to be there to help them and to guide them. And as we make righteous choices, we can be there to help them see the truth. And so that's something that I tried really hard to do, was to constantly pray for them, perform my mission all the time. I was praying for not just Gilbert, Arizona, but I was praying for the whole state. I just was so excited to meet those people. And as I prayed for them, I just felt this deep love and desire to come to them and to see them. And a couple days before I entered the MTC, the Gilbert Temple was actually dedicated. And I remember that Sunday, just thinking about all those people in Arizona and how they had this new temple. And that was beautiful. And I prayed so hard that one day I could see a family go through that temple, because that would be my greatest joy, to see a family linked together for forever. And so that would just be my biggest advice, is as before you leave for your mission, or even before you get your call, that you pray for those people, because you may not know who they are, but Heavenly Father does, and He knows His children and knows what they need. And so as you pray for that, you're preparing yourself to be the person that they need at that time. There's a lot of fond memories, but one of them was going through the temple. That's a big part of preparing for a mission. I went through the temple as soon as I could. Well, I turned in my papers as soon as I could. So I had to wait actually 118 days from the time I got my call to the time I reported to the MTC, because I turned them in as quick as I could. I left 20 days after my 19th birthday. And so pretty soon after my call, I went through the temple, and several times a week I went to the temple. And for me, that was a good choice, just because just hearing those promises over and over again and just feeling that spirit just changed the way that I looked at the world. And so I just remember the first time I went through the temple, a lot of people feel overwhelmed in a way that, like, they're just really confused. I mean, they enjoyed what happened, but they're just overwhelmed. But what happened for me, I just remember wanting to go back in. I didn't want to leave. Like, as soon as we left, I was like, I can't wait till not Monday, it's closed on Mondays, but I was like, I can't wait till Tuesday so I can go back and experience it again. And I just remember staring at the temple and just in awe of how loving our Heavenly Father is. And even though I didn't understand everything, the biggest thing that I could feel was His love. And the promises, those aren't confusing. Those are point blank, that this is what He has promised us. And they're beautiful. And as you focus on those things and remember how much He has to offer you, as you're worthy for it, that your life will be full of happiness. So that was a big motivator also as I went on my mission, was as I went through the temple, that I wanted somebody else to experience those blessings too.